What is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is when you say or write the same ideas using different words. When should you paraphrase? You do it already. Paraphrasing is used in everyday communication. You paraphrase to check you understand what someone said. For example, someone says, "I'm not sure I can make it to the meeting on Friday." And you reply, "So you think you might not be there?" You paraphrase your own words to explain your ideas more clearly. You might say, "Well, I can move the meeting if that helps. You know, I can change the time or the day." You paraphrase in presentations or writing to get your point across more clearly. You might say, 67% of the island's workforce is dependent on tourism. In other words, the tourist industry employs 2 out of 3 working adults. Paraphrasing is also a key academic skill you need to learn. You use it in academic writing or speaking when you include other people's ideas in your own work. Using your own words shows your teacher you understand the information. You also use paraphrasing to avoid plagiarism. Plagiarism is using someone else's words or ideas without saying where the information came from. This is not okay. Even if you correctly cite the information, using words that are too similar to the original is also plagiarism. How can you paraphrase correctly? You need to change some of the words and change the structure of the text. Let's look at some techniques. You can change some of the words in a text by replacing them with synonyms. The cost of living is likely to rise. You could change rise to increase, or replacing a word with a definition. Residents are unhappy. You could replace residents with people who live in the local area. A better way to paraphrase is to change the structure of the text as well. You can change the structure of the text by breaking up or combining sentences. The government introduced a new law. Residents are unhappy. This could become, the government introduced a new law, so residents are unhappy. Changing the word class and grammar. The verb introduce becomes the noun introduction. So the clause, the government introduced a new law, could change to the noun phrase, the introduction of the new law. Changing from active to passive or vice versa. The government introduced a new law becomes, a new law was introduced. Changing the order of information. The government introduced a new law, residents are unhappy, becomes, residents are unhappy about the introduction of the new law. Or changing the style or formality of the language. Residents are unhappy about the law. Could also be said as, locals are long-faced about the law. Using just one technique is not enough. You should combine several techniques and use more than one at a time. Let's look at an example that combines using synonyms, changing a verb to a noun, and changing the order of information. The government introduced a new law. Residents are unhappy. This can become, local people are upset about the introduction of new legislation. It's the same idea using different words. That's paraphrasing. Now take the quiz to show your teacher what you understand.